Hi students, I am Prakash, Academic Advisor, Masterminds. I have been in this position from the past 18 years and this is my 19th year of acting as an Academic Director of Masterminds. In this past 18 years, I have guided several students on various aspects of preparation. With that eligibility, today I am going to take up a small video on how to prepare in the last 45 days to exams. This will apply to all levels of students of CA, CMA and CS courses. Any students can watch this video and get benefited from the same. So let's start. So in the last 45 days, how to prepare? Generally last 45 days are very crucial. So earlier preparation is entirely different from what we prepare in the last 45 days. Last 45 days, what is peculiar about is students will have so much of pressure with respect to the exam, and even out of that pressure they need to prepare well for their exams. That is something peculiar about the last 45 days. So several students will be asking a doubt, is it really possible to finish the syllabus in 45 days? Even if I give for 450 days also, even if I give 450 days also, you will not be thorough with each and every aspect of the syllabus. Even the All India first ranker does not know everything in the syllabus. So my dear students, stop worrying. Whatever the time available with us, we must be in a position to make best use of the same. We cannot get additional time. We cannot get additional working days. And even if I give for 450 days also, there is no guarantee that each and every student will get through the exam. Because more the time we give, more the chances of procrastination. That is, keep postponing. As we have plenty of time, we'll keep postponing the work. When we have very less amount of time, we'll start focusing more on the targets. So having less amount of time, that is only 45 days, it's a boon. It's a boon to you. Because if there might be, if there is more time, then there are more chances that you keep postponing the things. So start planning in a right manner to finish off everything is in these 45 days. Don't forget that in the recent COVID pandemic situation, China was able to construct a massive hospital in just 10 days. What might be the reason for that? How it is able to do that? One is very good planning, and another thing is strict execution. Whatever they have planned, they stick to the execution. Similarly, what we can learn from this example is, so when your planning is good and your execution is good, 45 days is highly enough. So plan well. Fail to plan is planning to fail. If you don't plan, that means you are gradually planning to get failed in the exams. That's why sit, think about your future and prepare a study plan of your own. So prepare a comprehensive plan which includes everything. The first and foremost important thing is you first be able to define why you should qualify in this attempt. I'm not saying why you should qualify, I'm saying why you should qualify in this attempt. Are you really eligible to qualify in this attempt? Do you feel that the efforts put by you are really enough to qualify in this attempt? So what is your eligibility to get through the exam in this attempt? In that way, you first define why you should qualify in this attempt. So more the reasons you can list out, more the chances that you qualify in the exam. If you have more reasons to qualify, yes, these are the reasons due to which I am eligible to get qualified in the exam, then there are very good chances for you to get through the exam. If you are unable to list out more number of points, that means you are not eligible to qualify in the exam in this attempt. That's why sit calmly. So think about your future and write down the points or reasons due to which you feel that you are eligible to qualify in this attempt itself. So just dreams will not work out. Of course, without dreams, Narendra Modi Garu might have not reached this position. Without dreams, Dhirubhai Ambani and his sons might have not reached this position. Without dreams, Sachin Tendulkar might have not achieved that feast. Without dreams, Ramajurao Garu might have not achieved what he is today. But the problem is, dreams alone will not work out. Dreams are required, dreams are good. It's very good to get inspiration from dreams. But the problem is, dreams alone will not work out. So at the end of the day, you need to put a lot of hard work to get through the exam. What is required is burning desire. So occasionally getting a thought of examinations and preparing seriously for a few days, it will not work out. It will not work out. So persistent efforts are very much important. Burning desire is very important. Every hour, you must be able to remind your dreams. Every day and every hour, you must take your dreams seriously. So try to develop such kind of burning desire. Occasional dreams or occasional work will not work out. You have to work persistently. You have to work every day. Every day you have to work. So what is required is burning desire, and try to develop such burning desire. And create proper study atmosphere at home. Sir, I don't have such atmosphere at home. Then you are lucky. You are very lucky. Because I have seen hundreds of poor students who doesn't have even bare minimum facilities but are able to achieve wonders in their life, because that will boost your desire. When you don't have much, when you are poor, when you don't have much, it will increase your burning desire. So it will increase your seriousness to prepare. So first of all, try to create a proper atmosphere at home as far as possible. If it is not there in your hands, then leave it. Because even if some disturbance is happening outside, if you prepare seriously, nobody can stop you. That's why your burning desire must help you to work hard. You have to raise beyond all these hurdles. Then only your success will be laudable by all. Then only your success will be taken as a motivation by all. So think beyond all these hurdles. Forget about these hurdles, because these hurdles are going to be temporary in nature. You always dream about the success that you want to achieve in life. You always dream about that. Always work hard to fulfill your dreams. So try to create a proper work study environment at your home. So if possible, take a separate room. Take a separate room and try to avoid television, etc. And see that there are no distractions in that particular room. So prepare proper study atmosphere in that particular room. Avoid last moment preparations. Last moment preparations always create a lot of tension, and out of tension will commit so many mistakes. For example, if you want to catch a train at 9 a.m. in the morning and you wake up at 8:30 in the morning, then don't it create any tension in you? But when you wake up at 7:30 in the morning itself and reach the railway station at 8:30 itself, that is 30 minutes ahead of the scheduled time, then where is the scope for having tension? So out of tension, you may catch one train rather than another train, because out of tension will commit several mistakes. So that's why try to avoid last moment tensions. Last moment preparations create last moment tensions. So try to avoid that. Try to prepare each and every day. Your mother works hard on each and every day. She doesn't work hard occasionally. She doesn't work hard to show off. She works hard for the sake of her family. Similarly, you work hard for your entire family, not for you alone. You have to bring laurels to your family. You have to make your family feel proud of your achievements. So, just like your mother, you need to work hard every day. Occasional work hard will not give you any results. You need to work hard every day. So be confident, irrespective of your preparation, irrespective of quality of your preparation. Go to the exam with a lot of confidence. Your confidence is more important than your competence. Of course, Good preparation is required. But just because of good preparation, you will not qualify. Good preparation must be combined with a good amount of confidence. Then only you can clear the examination. Your confidence is more important than your competence. Of course, your confidence depends on the quality of your preparation. If you work hard, gradually your confidence levels will also improve. As you finish more and more syllabus in the syllabus, your confidence levels will also get improved. That's why your preparation should be good, which leads to good amount of confidence. And good amount of confidence is very much required along with your preparation to get through the exam. How to prepare in the last 45 days? In my experience, I have seen two types of students. One is type 1, those who get failed in the examinations. I have found that they belong to any of these two categories. One is they take proper coaching, they prepare in a very good materials, they prepare even well for their exams, but the only problem with them is they lack confidence. But remember, even if your preparation is sound, if you are not confident enough to qualify the exam, then you will not get through the exam. So such students, what they need to do now? So rather than improving the preparation, what you need to do is self-motivation is very important. You must take some examples who were able to clear their exam even with lesser preparation than you. Identify the people who were able to clear the exam even with lesser preparation than you. Take them as examples. So that will bring you a lot of motivation, that will bring you a lot of confidence. When he is able to qualify, why can't me? Because I have prepared more than him. In that manner, your confidence level will improve. That's why you need to improve your confidence. You need to give self-motivation. You need to tune your mind in such a way that, yes, I am able to qualify. I have all the capabilities to qualify. The only thing I am lacking is confidence. When you boost your confidence levels, you will get through the exam. The second type of students who get through, who does not able to get through exams is, they take proper coaching, they prepare in good materials, but the problem is they don't prepare well. They don't take their preparation seriously. As a consequence, such students may also get failed. So they have confidence towards exam, but the problem is they don't have competence to write the exam. Their caliber is not enough to write the exam. Their preparation is not sound enough to write the exam. Such kind of students will also unable to get through the exam. What is required is right combination of confidence and competence are very much important. On one side, you need to build your preparation, and on the other side, you need to build your confidence levels also. Both are equally important. Your preparation is important and your confidence levels, boosting your confidence levels are also equally important. Try to focus on both the areas. So don't prepare in any new materials or books. This is not the right time to get any new books, Nana. So don't gather any new materials or books. Of course, RTPs, MTPs, those things are exception because you are supposed to prepare them in the last moment. They will be released by CA Institute in the last moment only. You are supposed to prepare them. That's a different story. I'm talking about the main materials in which you are going to prepare. Don't try to change them in this last moment. So whatever you got habituated, you better continue with the same. Even if our management gives voluntarily some materials, some new materials, and ask all of you to prepare, you better reject the same. This is not the right time to change the materials in which you need to prepare. So whatever the materials you have been preparing from past several months, you continue the same materials. So gather all your materials. I have seen several students, generally once they start their preparation, they will start searching for various materials and notebooks. So this shall not happen with you. Try to gather all the materials and notebooks which are required for your preparation. If you don't have few materials, okay, then arrange Xerox copies of the same immediately. If you lost few notebooks, then arrange Xerox copies of the same immediately. So try to gather all the materials and notebooks which are required for your preparation. Avoid procrastination. It generally happens in case of theory subjects only. So if you are a person who keep postponing theory as well as problematic subjects, then it's better to quit this course. It's not your cup of tea. It's better to quit this course. So, but in case of some students, what happens is they show a lot of interest on problematic subjects. They prepare problematic subjects well, but they don't prepare theory subjects with equal amount of seriousness because of procrastination. They keep on postponing. They keep postponing in such a way that till the last 30 or 45 days, they don't even open the theory subject booklets. It's not fair. It's not fair. So you need to balance both theory subjects as well as problematic papers. You need to balance both. Analyze your strengths and weaknesses in each subject. Some students may be good at theory subjects, some students may be good at problematic subjects, some students may be good at both. So you need to analyze your strengths and weaknesses, because without that you cannot have a good plan. A good study plan can be prepared only after analyzing your strengths and weaknesses. So that analysis is very important. In each subject, also identify the areas where you are strong and also the areas where you are weak. It's better to focus more on the areas where you are weak. Prepare a fixed study plan based on your strengths and weaknesses in each subject. So while preparing the study plan, keep the following points in mind. Trying to make serious preparation at least for 14 hours a day. Sir, is it really required? Yes, it is required. We are just 45 days away to exams. It's not like 450 days, it's just 45 days. In these 45 days, you have to make serious preparation at least for 14 hours a day. So try to cover all subjects on each day. Don't go to a plan where you prepare one subject after another. That is allotting 5 days for one subject, next 5 days another subject. That will not work out. Because in the first 5 days you prepare first subject. After 10-15 days, you will simply forget what you learnt in the first 5 days. That's how it works. That's why better don't enter into that trap. What is good is better to prepare all subjects on each day. So be in touch with each and every subject on each day. Don't plan to finish one subject after another. That will not yield you any results. So try to slice theory subjects in between problematic subjects. If you feel that theory subjects are boring, then you do one thing. You prepare problematic subjects for 1 hour. After that, you prepare theory for 1.5 hours. Once again, change the subject and you start preparing problematic papers. So for 1 hour. Once again, come back to theory papers, prepare for 1.5 hours, then go back to problematic subjects once again. In that way, you start slicing theory subjects in between problematic papers. Don't read theory subjects when your attention levels are low. So we cannot generalize like such. For majority students, their attention levels will be very low at early in the morning, that is immediately after they wake up from bed, and their attention levels will be very low during afternoon, that is after completion of their lunch. So it may vary from person to person. Some students may feel that their attention levels are very good at early in the morning and after lunch. So we cannot generalize like such, but identify the timings at which your attention levels are low, and better not to read theory subjects at that point of time. Of course, we are all discussing about students who feel theory subjects to be boring. But there are some students who feel that theory subjects are very interesting and problematic to be boring. So as I have already said, there will be exceptions for everything. In case of those exceptional students, we cannot say like that. Now, wake up early in the morning. It's a very good habit. Wake up early in the morning and go to the bed early in the night. So don't do any night studies. So better not to prepare after 11 p.m. in the night, because that will spoil your health. Anyhow, tomorrow morning your attention levels will be very low. Let us assume today you have done some night out and you prepared even after 12 or 1 o'clock in the night. Anyhow, tomorrow morning your attention levels will be very low. So things will get compensated. You are not going to get any additional benefit out of that. That's why don't do night studies. So go early to the bed and wake up early in the morning. Don't spoil your health, because all these night studies will have a serious impact on your health condition. It is adequate to have a sleep of 6 to 7 hours in the night time. During night time, you sleep for 6 to 7 hours and have a nap of at least 1 hour in the afternoon session, that is after completion of your lunch, so that you will once again feel fresh and you will once again get fresh energy to work hard. After every 2 hours of study, take a power nap for 5 to 10 minutes. That will boost up your energy levels and will also helps to improve your concentration levels. So practice writing at least for 15 minutes a day. After preparing seriously for 2 to 3 months, when you go to the examination hall, the biggest problem that you are going to face is your handwriting speed will come down like anything because of lack of practice. From the past 2 to 3 months, you might be preparing well, but you have never written anything on paper. So you have to avoid such kind of mistakes. You must practice writing at least for 15 minutes a day so that you don't face such kind of issue in the public exam. While preparing problematic subjects, don't be in a wrong notion that each and every problem is important. 80% of the problems will be unimportant. Only 20% of the problems very, very important. So identify such kind of unimportant problems. What is meant by unimportant? Which does not require to be prepared once again. Identify such kind of unimportant problems and try to strike off them. So try to put a cross line, a big cross line in the material, so that once you look at the material, your confidence levels will improve. So your thought process will come in such a way that I know this many number of problems, then why should I worry? That's why you put a big strike off on such problems in your material itself. In that manner, strike off unimportant problems which you feel not required to be revised once again. In each problem, you try to underline the important points because the entire problem will not be important. Few adjustments or few points will be important in the entire problem. So you identify those important areas and try to underline the same using a red pen. Take a red pen and try to underline those areas. And its impact will be there in the solution at one or two places. Let us take the example of final accounts. So a problem will have one or two new adjustments. Remaining points will be everything same as the previous problem. But one or two new adjustments you will be learning in each problem. Identify those one or two new adjustments and underline the same using red pen. So the impact of each adjustment will be there on the solution at two or three places. Identify those locations, those areas, and highlight the same using a highlighter. What is the advantage? In the next revision, you need not revise the entire problem. It is sufficient to refer the points which you have underlined using a red pen and its impact which you have highlighted using a highlighter. Enough. So whatever the impact you will get by referring the entire problem, with just spending 10% of the time, you are getting the same impact by doing like this. This is how you need to utilize your time in a more productive manner. So this is how you need to improve your efficiency. In each problem, underline important points with red pen. Its impact will be there at multiple locations in solution. Highlight the same using a highlighter. In subsequent revision, so right now you will not find any saving of time. But in every subsequent revision, you will find a lot of saving in time, especially this work will fetch you a lot of benefit day before your public exam. Divide all problems in chapter into three categories. That is, those can be eliminated. I'm confident that 70 to 80% of the problems will be like that. They can be eliminated straight away. Sufficient to revise few points. In those problems, it is sufficient to revise few points. As I have told earlier, it is sufficient to underline such key points in the problem and highlight its impact in the solution using a highlighter. You need to revise the complete problem once again. This is third category. There will be some problems which require to be revised once again before going to public exam. So in that manner, you try to segregate the problems into three categories and maintain an index of all the problems. So problem number, what is the nature of the problem? Is it required to revise once again or not? Problem number 2, what is the highlight of the problem? Is it required to be revised once again or not? And what is the page number in the notebook where you can find that solution? In that manner, trying to maintain an index also, because day before exam, for if you want to refer a particular problem, you should not go through or you should not pass on multiple pages. You must be in a position to directly go to the page number where the problem is there. So it is possible only by maintaining an index. As far as theory subjects are concerned, cumulative revision is Very important. What is this cumulative revision? Let us assume today you want to read some 10 theory questions in a particular subject. You start preparing the 10 theory questions early in the morning. That is, in the first revision, you cover all those 10 questions. After that, change to another subject. That is, after preparing for 1.5 hour of theory subjects, you better change to one problematic subject. Then once again come back to the same subject and once again read those 10 questions once again. So after that, change the subject to another problematic subject and once again come back to the theory subject. You read those 10 questions once again. Tomorrow, before start reading another new 10 questions, you first read the 10 questions completed on the first day. On the third day, before starting preparing another 10 new questions, start revising the 10 questions that you have read on the first day and also another 10 questions that you have read on the second day. That revision will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes. So first time reading may take a lot of time, but subsequent revisions will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes. So cumulative revision has to be done. It's mandatory in theory subjects. This is very important point. In your public exam, there is a concept called fast 40 rule. Fast 40 rule. So once you start writing your exam, try to finish off writing for 40 marks as early as possible, as quickly as possible. Why, sir? It will boost up your confidence levels. Once you finish writing for 40 to 50 marks, so your way of thinking will change because by that time you will get enough confidence of qualifying in the exam since you have written your 40 to 50 marks well in the exam. So that is called fast 40 rule. Similarly, while preparing for theory or problematic subjects, identify the chapters from which you will get 40 to 50 marks in the public exam. You first be thorough with those chapters because once you are thorough with those chapters, you are confident of scoring 40 to 50 marks in the public exam. That will change your way of thinking. That will boost your confidence levels. So as a consequence, your attention levels will also improve. So this is one of the problem being faced by several students. Once your confidence levels are low, your attention levels will also be low. You will be starting preparing accounts and you will be getting thoughts about law. You open the books of law, you will be getting thoughts about costing. So it all depends on your confidence levels. If your confidence levels are good, your attention levels will also be good. So once you finish off preparing for 40 to 50 marks in each subject, your confidence levels will be at another level. As a result, your attention levels will also be at another level. That's why you start preparing for at least 40 to 50 marks in each subject and finish them as early as possible. So keep all these points in mind while preparing your study plan. How to prepare in the last 45 days? Daily revision or quick revision notes for the subjects which you feel to be tough. You better maintain a quick revision notes for each theory subject which consists of only side headings. That is nothing more than that. So don't dump unnecessary content into that notes. So maintain a very short notes for quick revision notes. Call it as quick revision notes. And you list out all the side headings of all the questions of that theory subject in that quick revision notes. So every day try to revise that quick revision notes in the subjects which you feel to be tough. It may not be possible to do with respect to all the theory subjects. I'll also agree with you. But there will be at least one or two subjects which you feel to be very tough. For example, a student may feel ES to be very tough. A student may feel ISCA to be very tough. So whatever the toughest subjects you are facing, you identify those subjects and try to revise quick revision notes every day. So put it as a practice. Every day I spend 15 minutes on revising quick revision notes. Every day I spend 30 minutes on revising quick revision notes in ISCA. In that manner, you identify the subjects which you feel to be toughest and revise the quick revision notes on daily basis. And get fast track materials or prepare quick revision notes on your own for all theory subjects. For all theory subjects, you prepare quick revision notes on your own because one or two first readings, initial readings are highly enough to be done in your main material. Once those one or two readings are completed, once you are confident that you are thorough with what is given in the material, then it is sufficient to revise only in the quick revision notes. It is not necessary to refer the main material again and again. In case of problematic subjects, you may not have enough time to prepare each and every problem, but at least try to identify important problems and try to solve them on your own. Don't forget, while solving the problem, you must be in a position to solve the same within the allotted time frame. What is allotted time frame? In your public exam, you must be in a position to solve a 10 marks problem in 15 minutes. So even in practice also, you must be in a position to solve a 10 marks problem in the same 15 minutes. So you try to put such time frame before practicing a problem and try to solve the problem without looking at the notes. So you must be in a position to solve the problems without looking at the notes and within the time frame in which you need to finish off the same in the public exam. In any subject, whatever be the subject you are going to prepare, first give priority to ICAS sources. ICAS sources in the sense, so study material questions, last 3 attempts RTPs, NTPs, past examination questions, etc. So wherever you find that it's an RTP question, you give priority to it. Wherever you find that it belongs to study material, that means the same problem is there in study material also, then give priority to such problem. So give priority to ICAS sources. You might be feeling tough with one or two theory subjects. Some students might be writing multiple attempts just because of one particular subject. So at least in those subjects, try to write self-examinations. It will be good if you are able to write self-exams in all theory subjects. But if it is not possible, at least write self-examinations in the subjects in which you are frequently getting failed, which you feel to be very tough. You evaluate your exam papers on your own. With that, you can identify the mistakes committed by you and you can rectify the same and you can even avoid the same in the public exam. Be away from internet, mobile phones for any purpose. Of course, you can use them for your study purpose. For example, you can watch your class videos. We don't have any objection. But for any other purposes, you better avoid internet and mobile phones. Spend at least 15 to 30 minutes a day on entertainment. You need not get rid of entertainment completely. So if you want to watch TV, yes, you can watch, but you have to limit yourself to 15 to 30 minutes. You better do one thing. So watching TV and taking food, you can do both the things at a time. With that, you can save another 30 minutes of time. So you can use that 30 minutes of time in quick revision of theory subjects. So spend at least 15 to 30 minutes on entertainment. You need not get rid of entertainment completely. So whatever the mode of entertainment you want to spend, you can spend 15 to 30 minutes of time per day on it. Right decisions in the right time will decide your future. Now it's your turn. Whoever is successful in the society, they are successful only because of taking right decisions in the right time. So resources will be common for everyone. For example, there are several institutions which also give coaching for CA, CMA. But does all those institutions are as successful as that of masterminds? May not be. Reason? So right decisions in the right time. That makes a difference between masterminds and other institutions. That's why what you need to take a right decision now is it good to attempt both the groups or single group? It's better to qualify at least one group rather than attempting both the groups and failing in both the groups. No sir, I don't have enough time to prepare both the groups, but I have more than enough time to prepare one group. Then you do one thing. You attempt for 5 to 6 papers. So you attempt for one group and at least 1 or 2 papers in another group and aim for exemption in those 1 or 2 papers. That is attempting 5 to 6 papers. That is another strategy. You can adopt any strategy of your choice. But remember one thing, if you are capable enough to attempt both the groups and still choosing single group, it's cruelty. Don't do that. So assess your capabilities in a right manner. If you feel that you are capable enough to write both the groups, then you attempt for both the groups. There is no rule that in just 45 days, everyone has to attempt single group. No, it's not like that. So it all depends on your capabilities. If you want to attempt only single group, then choose the group in which the pass percentage is more in recent attempts. Earlier we have told all students to apply for both groups. Even we stick to that now also. You first apply for both the groups. Later on you can decide whether it is good to appear for one group or 5 papers or 6 papers. So earlier we instructed everyone to apply for both groups in the examination. It doesn't mean that you need to appear for both the groups. Now it's your turn to take a right decision. whether it is good to appear for 5 papers or 6 papers or both groups or single group. You take a decision of your own. When we use it to study CA course, if we want to get an exemption, the rule is in one paper we need to get 60 marks, that is exemption. In all the remaining papers we must score at least 30 marks, at least 30. But now such rule has been withdrawn. Now the rule is you need to get 60 or above marks in a particular subject, and it is sufficient for you to appear for the exam in case of remaining papers. You did not score even 10 marks. So you must not get absent to the exam. That is the only condition. So such great facility great convenience has been given to you. That's why don't misuse it. You try to appear for 5 to 6 papers at least rather than single group. So don't blindly accept the suggestions by your friends. Your friends may not have enough eligibility, enough capability to give a suggestion to you. For example, in case of our case, you take ourselves as example. We have been guiding the students from the past 18 years. We have enough eligibility to guide you. So, but everyone may not have that eligibility to guide you. But unfortunately, several students blindly believe the words of their friends who don't have enough eligibility to give a better advice. So that's why you better take a decision whom to follow, whom not to follow. So whose advice need to be followed, whose advice need to be ignored. You must have that the decision making skills. I have seen several students who qualified miraculously. When you look at those students, you will feel that they qualified just because of luck, but don't believe in luck. You may not know how much of hard work they have put, how much of serious preparation they have made. You may not able to know how seriously those students have attended their classes. So all these things will have an impact on the result. You might have not seen him how seriously they have implemented the instructions given by us at various points of time. So we might have given several instructions at various points of time. Some students might have taken very seriously, might have taken those instructions very seriously. So that's why all these small things will also impact the success. Frankly speaking, success will not depend on big things that you are going to do. Success depends on very small things that you are going to do. So all these small things will accumulate and leads to success. So that's why don't feel that they have qualified just because of luck, because you may not be able to, you may not know his entire story. You may not know how seriously he has prepared. You may not know how seriously he has taken the instructions given by us. That's why don't come to such kind of wrong conclusions. And let me take myself as an example. I have qualified my CA Inter in my third attempt. I qualified my CA Inter in third attempt. In the first attempt itself, I have qualified one group, and another group I have written for another two times. That is totally third attempt. I was able to clear my CA Inter, but I am able to clear my CA final both groups in the first attempt itself. Then why the same failure did not occur at my CA final? Because I learned from my failure. I learned the reasons for my failure, why I got failed my CA Inter. I am able to analyze the reasons and avoided repeating the same reasons once again at my CA final. That's why even though I qualified my CA Inter in the third attempt, I am able to qualify my CA final both groups at a time in the first attempt. That's why try to analyze your mistakes and don't try to repeat the same mistakes again. And you may feel it to be surprised to know that I doesn't know anything about income tax. I don't do even a single section in income tax, but I'm able to qualify my CA Inter. I'm able to qualify my CA final. Reason? Very simple. What I know is not that much important. What is required to qualify the exam, that is more important. What is being questioned in the exam, whether I know it or not, that is more important. Because entire syllabus will not be questioned in the exam. Only 5%, less than 5% areas of the syllabus will be covered in the exam. If I am able to be thorough with those 5% of the areas, then I will qualify. So what I have done is, I have analyzed the past exam papers very well and identified the loopholes in the examination and prepared those areas in a very strategic manner. That's why with a very little knowledge in income tax, with very little preparation in income tax, I am able to qualify my CA Inter as well as CA final. You have two options. Read everything of something. What is that something? Some important areas. You identify some important areas, some important chapters. Be thorough with those important chapters. That is, be thorough with everything in those important chapters. That is one strategy. Another strategy, you don't take any chapters as choice. You try to prepare each and every chapter, but you prepare only something in those chapters. What is that something? Important areas in those chapters. You can adopt any of these two strategies. Anything is okay, but you have to be thorough with the areas chosen by you. In the first strategy, for example, read everything of something. You have to gain expert knowledge in the few chapters selected by you. In the second strategy, you must have good knowledge in each and every chapter, all the important areas in each and every chapter. That's why you can adopt any of these two strategies to get succeed in the examination. Of course, you may look upon us negatively when we talk about marks, but at the end of the day, you must score marks to get qualified in the exam. We cannot completely eliminate the importance of marks. Even society understands the language of marks only. Don't be in a wrong notion that you must be perfect in everything. It's not practically possible, Nana. So I have even taken myself as an example. Even with very little knowledge, I am able to qualify my income tax. So just because you don't know few chapters, you will not get failed in the exam. How many marks you have written, that is not at all important. How you have written, that is more important. Even if you write for 60 marks, you may qualify in the public exam, provided you write well for that 60 marks. For example, you doesn't know a particular model in process costing. Example, let me take an example. You need to worry only if you will get a problem in the public exam on the same model. But the chances of exactly getting the same model in the public exam, the chances are very, very less. So you may get a problem in the process costing in the examination, but the chances of getting the problem in the same model in which you are not aware of, for that even to happen, the chances are very less. Okay, let us assume you got the problem from the same model in which you are not aware of, in which you have not prepared well. Now, can you write your 100 marks paper well? Even an All India first ranker cannot do that. Even if you know each and every problem given in the question paper, you can only attempt 90 marks well because time will not be sufficient. Why don't you feel that anyhow you need to lose 10 marks because of lack of time? So whatever the 10 marks you are losing, why don't you feel that you will be losing because of process costing? You can leave this process costing problem in the 10 marks. So you need to leave at least 10 marks due to lack of time. You leave the problem of process costing in the 10 marks. So just because of not knowing a particular model in a particular chapter will not make you fail. So whatever you know, you try to prepare confidently, thoroughly. You shall feel tensed only when you don't put your efforts properly. So as long as you put your efforts properly, you need not worry about your result. Our old student and All India first ranker Praneeth scored 577 marks and got All India first rank in CA final. He stood All India first rank in CA minor. He's our old student. He scored 577 marks out of 800. That means even All India first ranker was unable to score 223 marks. Our old student and All India fourth ranker Kamatam Vijayalakshmi scored only 532 out of 800 marks. That means even she was unable to answer 268 marks. So please keep all these points in mind. Just to qualify in the exam, you need not be thorough with each and everything given in the public exam. So these are all classic examples for the same. I don't think CA exams are going to test your knowledge alone. No, definitely not. Otherwise, it would have become a 10th class or intermediate examination. It is more of testing your emotional balance. How emotionally balanced you are. Even if there are hundreds of difficulties, you must not lose hope. You must not lose emotional balance. So we have seen several knowledgeable students to get failed in the exam just because of lack of emotional balance. Try to develop such emotional balance. Get rid of examination fear. Write the exam more and more and more confidently. So put your emotions under control. Several students ask me a question, how many hours need to be prepared? Here is my answer. How many hours need to be prepared? Just leave the time which is required for your sleep. Let us assume you require sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours a day, and at least you need 2 hours for doing remaining activities. So hardly 10 hours we have allocated for your sleep and other activities. Still you are left with 14 hours. This 14 hours has to be dedicatedly spent on studies. That's why in the beginning itself I have told you, you must prepare for at least 14 hours a day. Last but not the least, start your preparation immediately after writing your public exams. As soon as your public exams gets finished, you take a break for 1 week. After that, you immediately start preparing for your next attempt, because results itself will eat away 50% of your available time between two subsequent attempts. Let us assume you are going to attempt your exam in November, and your next attempt will be in the month of May of subsequent year. Between these two attempts, consecutive attempts, you will hardly have 6 months. In these 6 months, 50% of the time will be eaten away by results. So you are hardly left with 50% of time when you start preparing after the announcement of results. But if you start preparing immediately after completion of your exams, then you will be left with 100% of time. That's why start preparing for your next attempt immediately. Don't wait for results. So you give instructions to your mind that I may get failed in the exam. After writing exam, your confidence levels, all these things will not matter. So you have to be confident only while writing the exam. After writing the exam, given instructions to your mind that I may get failed in the exams. Why can't I start preparing from now itself? So in that manner, you fine tune your mind and start preparing immediately after writing your exams. So this is all, my dear students. This is how you are supposed to prepare in the last 45 days to exams. Hope that this session is useful to all the students who are watching this video. All the best.